Hello, I'm Allie,
I'm Deb.
and welcome to another episode of Connected Conversations. Hello, welcome back. And this topic is like close to my heart. And if you are a millennial, maybe Deb, what group are you in? What is it, Gen Z? Is it Gen X? I get them
I don't even
confused.
know.
Okay, the one
Aren't we
before the
the same?
millennial, maybe, or we are millennials. We're elder millennials. So we had life. It's a surprise because Deb and I look so young and vibrant. So
We're only
we
25.
exactly we had life before technology, meaning I took typing classes in school, and it wasn't until I was almost finished college that I got my first phone, like cell phone. And that was like crazier back when T9 or whatever texting was available. So growing up, social media wasn't a thing. And today we want to talk a little bit more deeply about social media and the cost that it's playing for our mental health and how to manage it to help manage stress and also to get more into flow. That's what Deb and I specialize in is stress management, how to find that sweet spot of flow so that you're more productive and your general well-being is heightened. And we both were just kind of talking about obviously connected conversations, what's hot, what's happening, and social media. I have such a love hate, um, a little bit of an addiction relationship with it. I gotta admit, like there are some days where it is easy to numb out and just scroll through the various different facets. And then on the other side, there is this moment of like, okay, to get our businesses out, like you're listening to this podcast. How did you find it? Did you find it on Instagram? Did you find us on LinkedIn? What medium, right? So it's also a form of great marketing. There's so many bonuses to it. So how do you have that almost that yang without getting so consumed, yet leverage it for such a way for education, for slight entertainment? So Deb, what are your thoughts about social media and maybe having a bit of a detox?
Yeah, it's easy to fall down that rabbit hole, right? Of scrolling. And then all of a sudden, like, excuse me, like an hour is gone. Like it's so
Mm.
easy. And for what purpose? Like I like the fact that you can use it to catch up with people that you don't necessarily see all the time and see what they're up to. I like it for that reason. I like it for a marketing tool. But I think when it comes to needing it or your mental health, um, banking on how many likes you get on a certain post, I think that's where you're getting into sketchy territory. And for me, I've actually really been taking weekends away from social media. I might glance at it here and there, but I like the time away, to be honest. I find that my creative juices start flowing when I take that time away and you hop back on and you see what people are up to, and that's great. I like to schedule my time on social media, especially when it comes to using it for a marketing tool. So I set aside a certain time between Monday and Friday that I actually go and actively go on to social media, because we know there's the algorithms and stuff for business. So that's a bit different. But I would recommend a social media detox. I find I don't even actually miss it when I'm not on it. If I didn't have to be on there for business related reasons, I definitely think I would scale back the amount of time I spend on social media. I think it's so healthy to step away. We've talked about like put your phone down, but even just like a social media detox where I don't know, like go out in nature. We've talked about this before too. Like go do something that you find joy in, read a book. Like when was the last time you read a book? Like I picked up a book at the cottage. I didn't have some of my work related stuff with me and I just read a book and I was like, I can't remember the last time I just read like a mind numbing book. Like that doesn't take a lot of thought. And to me, I like the social media detox. I would recommend it. Find a different hobby, try something new, take a class instead. We're so on our phones all the time that we have to be dialed into everything. Like you get news flashes, you get all this stuff popping up on your phone all the time. Like my boyfriend has a watch that's connected to his phone and he gets like Elon Musk tweets, or is it Twitter? It's not even Twitter anymore. It's X now. I think that's a stupid name. Sorry, Elon. But like it,
I
it
didn't even
pops
know that it changed.
it pops up on his watch, and I'm like, are we like, I don't know, to be on all the time, like ding 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 all the time. I don't know. I don't need that in my life. I just find it stresses me out. So I'd recommend a social media detox. Have you done it? Have you ever done one?
Yeah, I like to call it like getting to my edge. And not just for social media, though, sometimes for like any electronics in
Yeah.
general and knowledge. Because part of what I love to do and learn is like a lot of research and diving in, which is really great. And then on the other end, like, how do I transmute that information and do something with it versus just research and find different information. So I'll go like 48 hours, sometimes over the whole weekend without touching any technology. And I'll go as far as like, okay, I'll let my parents know, let people know. And it's like no music, no TV, no phone, no texting, like, and really taking back to the basics. With detoxing too, like there are so many different apps you can put on your phone to allow you to stop watching at certain periods of time. You can turn off color. I would say though, if you are a heavy user, it's just kind of like taking a check in, like, where are you right now? You might be shocked at how much time is actually
Hmm.
spent on the phone or just distracting, and ask yourself, like, okay, what are you looking to avoid? Because it's, I, again, like we talked about phone being an addiction, and I think that there is so many different forms of addictions that we can have. So that conversation about like, okay, you're choosing to put your focus on something instead of the focus that maybe you want to put on your business, the focus of school or starting something new, and ask yourself like, hey, what are you scared of? What's actually happening here that you're avoiding, that you're taking away from what you want? And if you don't know, like you say, like replacing it with something. Time
Hmm.
in nature is always going to be so much more rejuvenating than scrolling and filling your psyche with stuff that maybe just isn't important. Or yeah, like go back to what you used to love as a child. Get back, get curious, whether it be painting, music, sports, the arts. There are so many different things, and I want to be conscious of budgets too. Like maybe not all of that has to be very elaborate and cost whatever, so that you can just replace your time with something that's more enjoyable for yourself. I think is really important. So I have done detoxes, and I find when I get back into work, that's when I get back into scrolling sometimes. So it is like being very rigorous with my time in the morning. Okay, how do I want to spend this day? What intention do I have?
Yeah, I think
So
it's being
that
intentional with your time and being cognizant. I do like, on your phone, you can see you've done social media for this amount of time, you've been productive this amount of time. Um, so that's a great gauge on where you're spending your time. And if it's all on social media, is it a fear of missing out? Is it a fear of, not being liked or wanting to be liked or seeing what other people are doing and maybe not even thinking that your life is that great, watching other people have all these successes and then, that really can really set off this spiral of events of like, oh my God, they look so happy. It's not very often that you see on social media people saying, I'm really experiencing this right now. I think maybe we're seeing that a little bit more with the focus on mental health, but for the longest time it's like I'm so happy and this is happening and I have such a great life, but you know, behind the scenes maybe it's not all that rosy. So not gauging your life on watching other people in social media. I think that's
Well, it's a
important.
curated moment, right? Like
Yeah,
it is like if you think of like a flash of a camera, it is milliseconds, right? That's what you're experiencing. Okay, we have reels now. So there's whatever, 15, 30 seconds, blah, blah, blah. I get on the flip side, like there is some really great education and tips and motivation,
sure.
and you choose whatever kind of content you want to consume. Though remembering that, like, check out our last week's episode about secrets, because there are maybe like you can look on the outside of things looking great, but are they? It's again like the narrative and the story that you're making up. And what were your goals? What did you want to accomplish at the start of the year? And is social media maybe that block getting you to where you want? Because I would check in and say like, okay, like how much time am I actually spending? And then look at
Hmm.
the numbers. What gets measured gets managed, or managed gets measured, or one of those things. It's not my favorite saying, obviously, but like
It's not.
whatever you get measured gets managed, or something like that. Though, if you can have that point A, like where are you right now, um, and protect your mental health. Like I think I personally cannot imagine being a teenager this day and age. Like I said, like as an elder millennial, I didn't have that to contend with. However, it'd be really interesting to hear what some of the younger generation are going through, or what their thoughts about it are.
I like that question to ask yourself. What are you maybe avoiding by looking at social media and scrolling all the time? I think that goes deeper. Am I avoiding my work? Why am I avoiding my work? Am I maybe thinking that I'm not good enough? I'm not worthy of this success. What are you avoiding? I like that question. Instead of
Hmm.
working, why am I watching TV? I like that.
Yeah,
I
because
think that's
you got goals. I know you got goals somewhere that you want to do. I
sure.
know that there's something somewhere that you would rather do than watch another streaming episode or scrolling for an hour. And again, like I don't want to say nothing, like take it all away, because it is here and it's amplifying our lives. And again, like you can find great people like us online. So I don't want to say like, oh, nothing, like let's become, I don't know, pilgrims again or whatever. But like there's got to be a happy medium. So detox from social media, um, weekly, monthly. I make it a priority.
Yeah, I like that. So check out your social media productivity time, focus time, whatever that is for you. Just just take a look at it and see where you're at and see, are there times when I'm on this when I'm avoiding something? And maybe it's not even avoiding work. Maybe it's avoiding a workout. Maybe it's avoiding a conversation you don't want to have. Check in and see what that is, because it's on a deeper level. And you might be surprised to realize a detox might be beneficial for you, or to be more intentional with your social media time and see, how you feel about that. I think it's beneficial. I think it's a good idea to take this time to really investigate how much time you're actually scrolling and coming back to the present moment, because we've talked about that too, being present. So make sure you check us out on Monday to kickstart your week. We will be back next week with another episode of Connected Conversations. I encourage you to put down your social media for at least one day this weekend.
Mhm.
Enjoy your weekend, everyone. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please share with your friends and rate and recommend on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. There will be links to more great resources in the description.